Good day, family. Welcome back to the channel. Coach Jay coming at you again, family. In that last video, we were talking about the generational blessings, and it just took one seed that was Grandpa operating in his vision for future generations to come. Because a visionary just doesn't look at today; they look at 10 to 20 to 30 years down the line. Me personally, I'm looking at 77 years down the line. When I talk about this legacy fund being built out, all they got to do is just let it roll. Even when grandpa's gone, the vision is written down and it's made plain. All they got to do is follow the vision. That's what visionaries do. Visionaries are, especially in the household, the men, they are the ones who look far out, and they said, okay, just like that eagle in the background, it can see the storm coming miles away. And that's why they fly high above the storm. And once they get above the storm, they just hold their wings out. They just hold. And that wind is now working on their behalf versus them being like the buzzers that are all down there gossiping and just doing nothing with their lives, just living life, FOMO and YOLO. We talked about that in the last video. You only live once, the fear of missing out. So they down there, that's what the buzzers do. They gather together. But eagles, they soar by themselves. You don't see them in groups and bunches. You see them one at a time. And I'm trusting that me as an eagle for my family line financially, they already got the spiritual part going on, but the physical stuff, they're in that, they're operating in that. But this financial piece is going to add to the core. It's going to be the core of the family, so that no one else in the family line will ever have to go and work a 9 to 5. Yes, yes, and they'll let that money will be flying high. So once again, that eagle that sees the storm off, far off, flies above the storm, and as the storm comes, they just hold the wings out. And that's what I have done with this legacy fund for my grandbabies and generations to come after that, especially. That's why I got all these other 3 buckets they can pull from, but to leave that legacy fund alone. So when the future generations come along, they can all eat off of the core of the seed that was planted, and they can do it without going working for anyone else. They can now build their own business, and they can now go to school without it being an issue of scholarships and all that, because grandpa took the time and he was given a vision to be able to look 10, 20, 30, 80 years down the line, knowing he's gone, but they can live and eat off this tree forever. And this tree just keep reproducing on its own. Yes, but the seed had been planted into good ground, and my babies are good ground.